Hey everyone, here is my very late review of the finale, aka episode 12 of Love is Blind season 4. I don't know about you, but I was quite surprised by some of the results in this episode. And okay, I admit some of my predictions were way off, but let's get into it and have a chat. Chelsea and Kwame. He actually said yes, and my jaw hit the floor because I was 100% convinced, I would even have bet good money that he was going to say no. Micah and Paul. Micah, she starts her vows and says that in the pods, she felt more comfortable with him than anyone else, and she's glad they were able to get past their issues and choose each other. Paul says he's the type of person that questions everything, but he's never questioned his love for Micah, and he knows he made the right decision choosing her. Micah is actually asked first to give her answer, and instead of giving an answer, she defers to Paul and tells him to give his answer. So then now Paul says he loves her, but, and you know what that but means, he doesn't think that they can choose each other right at that moment. Micah is visibly pissed, not sad like you would think a bride would be. To me, she looked very pissed. She says she knew that's what he was going to say. She says the whole time that she wanted him to show her, tell her how much he loved her, and she never felt that she got that reassurance from him. Then Paul begins to say something else, and Micah just walks off while Paul is in mid-sentence. She walks off in tears before he's able to finish his sentence. Then we pan over to Micah's hater-ass friend Shelby, and a couple of her other friends actually get into the shot, and they're actually laughing, which I thought was so rude, so disrespectful. I don't know what the deal with Micah's friends are, but she needs some new ones. Paul then has a confessional moment, and he says he feels that the love he has for Micah wasn't always reciprocated. So how interesting, they both felt the same way about one another. Micah feels she never got that reassurance from Paul, and Paul feels Micah didn't reciprocate what he was giving to her. Brett and Tiffany. Both of Brett and Tiffany's parents, I didn't know this before. If they had revealed this information earlier, I missed it, but they've both been together over 40 years, which I thought was so sweet, so amazing. What a wonderful foundation to come from. And Brett meets with Tiffany's father, and Tiffany's father says that he grew up being raised by a single mother, and he vowed to always be there for his children. Then Brett tells his story of his mother's mental health issues and how his father stood by her side. So I'm assuming it is because of these mental health issues why we never see Brett's mother. Brett then asks Tiffany's father officially for her hand in marriage, and he says yes. Then the shady producers of Love is Blind, they have to drum up some fake drama because Brett and Tiffany have been such a solid couple since day one. This whole scene with Brett being frustrated over his pants not fitting well and then having to run to a local tailor to get everything fixed, and he's frustrated and he was getting into it with his brother. Unnecessary drama just to add filler to the episode. Brett cries as he watches Tiffany walk down the aisle. They share some very beautiful vows, and they both say yes. Not surprised, I knew that they both would. Zach and Bliss, the last couple. Zach tells Bliss he loves her. He knew he loved her the moment he told her goodbye, and he knew what he'd lost. And at that moment when he said that, I call total BS. Personally, I would be more inclined to believe the words that Zach is telling Bliss right now if, after meeting Irina, he expressed some sense of still feeling drawn towards Bliss. All the while he was with Irina in Mexico, if we had seen little snippets here and there of him saying, you know what, I can't help myself. I just keep thinking about Bliss. You know, I'm here for Irina. I want to commit to Irina. I really want to focus on her, but Bliss is still on my mind constantly. But that never happened. So I find it very hard to believe when here he is saying all these things about he knew Bliss was the one all along and all this. That never came across at all. Bliss says she's never met someone as great as Zach before. They both say yes. The episode then closes out with a last look at each couple. As Paul leaves the wedding venue, he reflects and says that he does believe love is blind, but with Micah, He questioned whether love was actually enough. Micah explains that the reason she wanted Paul to give his answer first is because that's what she needed in order to say yes to. Zach and Bliss have their first dance to what else? Their song, Leanne Womack's I Hope You Dance. I thought that was kind of cute. Brett and Tiffany enjoy their wedding cake. Chelsea looks so happy. She's on cloud 9. But again, she, to me, seems so much more excited and into the whole ceremony and celebration than Kwame. So I did see the live, then not live reunion last Sunday. I won't be doing a video on it because it was whack, and I consider putting time and effort into doing one a waste of time. So I'll just give my opinions on it here. I absolutely agree with what everyone else is saying online about Vanessa Lachey and her horrible hosting skills. People are going in on her, and I'm curious to see if whether or not all the backlash will persuade Netflix to want to find a new host for the next season. I was really looking forward to seeing the interaction between Jackie and Marshall, but of course we know now that she didn't show up. I hate that for Marshall, and I know he was very disappointed. He said as much, and it was written all over his face that he didn't get to have his moment. He was robbed of his moment to have his say face to face with her. Who did show up that I could have done without was Irina. I didn't need to see Irina ever again. If she didn't show up to the reunion, I would have been fine with that. And all of the couples that got married are still married 1 year later, so that's a plus. But I have to admit, something in me still believes that down the line, after some time has passed, I think Tiffany and Brett will end up being the last couple standing. And that's all I got. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.